Hello, friends. It's me, Azalea.
You are Cynthia.
Oh, I forgot who I was. We were at a
That's
thing
crazy,
today.
bro. That is the
Listen, I got.
wildest thing I've ever seen. She's
Sorry,
Azalea now. I'm
I'm
Cynthia.
Azalea, and this is Cynthia, my daughter.
Hi.
And our friend Sam is with us. Say hi,
Cousin
Sam.
Sam. Cousin Sam.
Hello.
Cousin Sam. Cousin Sam. All right, we're a little discombobulated, or I should say, I'm discombobulated. We just came back from our friend's celebration of life, and that was it was beautiful, but it kind of wrung us out a little bit. Now we're kind of like, I don't know, emotionally a little bit, you know how you get sad, you think you're over it, and you're like, it'll be good. So now we're comforting ourselves with a cheese plate, and let's just say when you have a good cheese plate, all is well. Am I right, friends?
Yeah, we got some brie.
Or some pancakes.
Oh, pancakes.
That always.
Oh,
occurs
hello,
off
we have
these.
Deanna with us. Deanna and NC. Colite. And she says, hi, Sam.
Hi.
Julie Peterson, hello.
They
Yes.
know you now, bro.
Now, so tonight we're not going to do the full live experience, but I'm going to show you, because I was showing Sam bracelet making, and, well, we were just nodding, and I brought my whole kit.
He should
And-
show it if he wants to, how good it
Oh
looks.
yeah, let's turn that thing around, and I'll show it to you guys.
Show what you're
Oh,
gonna
hello,
demonstrate.
Jermaine, Jeanette. I'm gonna flip the camera.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Pat, we were doing. Oh, that was not the thing to do, to turn the camera off.
You need help?
You know what? I know how to do it. You got it.
Let me know when it's
front.
turned.
I need
Hello,
front
friends,
camera.
my name is
Oh no,
Azalea.
back camera. So I for sure got discombobulated. Okay, so we laid out. This is part of our kit. What's the name of that kit, Azalea? The one, the pink and green. This is Sam is.
Watermelon summer.
He's using the watermelon summer kit, and I think that's 2 of them plus some other things. Looks like one Azalea's working on. This is a.
Oh yeah, she's trying to do like a rainbow type thing. And this is the second one I made as well.
It looks great, Sam.
Thanks.
Perfect nodding, perfect, and that's all you need.
All
and
thanks
this is
to
all
Azalea.
Not all thanks to me, bro.
double
You didn't even have
thread.
that many times.
And I'll show you that all how to do that, because everyone, it's so fun and easy. And I did get a lot of people saying, hey, I don't know how to do it. So I'm going to show you guys how to do it. So last night I laid this out while I was just sort of meditating, I guess, because this is kind of like meditation. I'm going to switch holders and show you guys how this is done. I have the same holder that I usually have, and it's sometimes tricky. It kind of came off of here, so let me see if I can get it to stay. Oh, here's the doll I made of my friend. It kind of looks like her, kind of. That's a little sweater I knit. Isn't that cute? And I made a little necklace with the tiniest charm. It's so sweet. And then I found these little gold cowboy boots yesterday. It was pretty charming. Oh. Thanks, Helen.
Are you
Okay.
set up?
Yeah, sorry. It took me like 5 minutes to get that thing set up. Gosh. All right, so here's what I've done so far. This is Eslon or Ceylon, and this is, you guys know Kate Richburg. Well, she showed me this. This is for your spools of thread. And if you put this on there and you get it aimed correctly like this, then it's not going to go hog wild in your thread basket. And so what I did, and this part, you guys are going to love this. Where's that fray check? All right. I use this product called Fray Check. And you can use any kind of glue that will stiffen up. And I usually like an alcohol type glue. I think, you know what else I think would work? What's that glue that we like, that we make wigs with?
Fabri-Tac.
Fabri-Tac. Fabri-Tac I think will work great. Oh, hello, Suzanne. Looks like we had a few more people. Lorraine. Hello. Kathy's on with us. Helen. Hello. Oh, our friend June. Hello, June. Carla. Oh, Carla. We're gonna meet her in real life. I'm excited. She told us that that Monday, Jen texted me. She said we had like 4 or 5 people leave messages about the next class coming up. So we think we'll be able to fill it. So that's pretty good news. Because, and this sometimes filling up live action classes can be kind of difficult nowadays. So this looks like I glued this earlier. And what I did was this, and I'll show you. Let me see. Oh, Stamile, hey, friend. All right, so there's always a more elegant way to do things. This is the most unelegant way, but it works. It's already pretty stiff, but I'm going to show it again. So you put this here, and you just drag a bead of glue and pinch off it like that. This has already been stiffened up. I ran over this these 2 strands like twice already. And so now it's a pretty good needle. You see how stiff it is? But I'm tightening it up because you know what? This will make it so much easier. You're going to be able to get through all kinds of beads with this. Now, one thing that should be noted is that you can use the same size of nylon thread. So both of these are not identical. So on this spool, I think it's the medium, and I think this one's just the fine. And I think that width of those 2 combined is the right diameter to get through there. Now, earlier on the trip, I made, let me see if I can find it. I had some beads with a very, very, very small, look at this Jumbotron. Ugh. So horrendous. All right, where'd it go? And I kind of made a mess out of it, but I'm going to show you guys anyway. So I strung up a bunch of this. Oh, the crazy glue with a brush. Yeah, I don't like that burning. I don't like anything that is so hard to get off of my fingers. That's the only reason. But I have used crazy glue, and that will stiffen it up. So this one, it's getting a little messy because I was in the car doing this. And so this particular necklace was done with 2 pieces of fine because the holes on this are much smaller. You can see how much they're, like on the clear ones, you can see it's a lot smaller. But this had a nice effect, I thought. And so on this, I did enough for 2 necklaces. And I'm kind of regretting that a little bit because it's really long. and to do the knots, it's kind of chaotic. All right, I'm going to try and straighten that out in a minute. That's going to be but I don't want to set it in there because it's going to be another half an hour of me picking that apart. Oh, hello, Vicky. So here are the tools that I like to use. This thing, awesome. I think I got that from Kate. You can just look at their thread burners. This board, I love this board. I got it on Etsy, and it was kind of expensive. But, if you make jewelry and you don't want to count all your beads all the time, this has all of the these little notches. You see that? So it makes a full mala necklace, which is 108 beads. And if you do half of the side, you get a half mala, which is, I don't know, 20 inches maybe. But the full mala, this whole amount of 108 beads, makes it so it's a little awkward for me to wear. I like it, but that feeling of it bouncing along my belly button makes me feel weird. So I like a shorter necklace. So that's just my preference. And so what I like to do is I'll do one side of this and then I'll do the other side. And when I'm laying them out, I do different patterns. In this way, I did sections. I don't know if you can see this. The sections are kind of like a wave where they start off kind of a little thicker and then they gradually go a little smaller and then they get bigger again. And sometimes I don't do that necessarily, but if I'm making a little bit longer, it just feels like it has a really fluid, beautiful feel to it. So I'm going to show you how that's going to look. Oh, I see we have a few more joining. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Anne. Oh, yes, we had kind of an exhausting day, but it was really beautiful at Where were we? Yellow Springs. We're in Yellow Springs, and it was really lovely. So you start, okay, here's one thing. Now when you glue it, sometimes it can flare out like this. The good thing is you can just trim it to the right area. Oh, our friend Karen. Right now, we're in Mason, Ohio. Oh no, June. If you like it, I would love for you to try it. Post it on the gang. Post it. We'll see. It comes out really beautifully. Now these are Thai silver beads. I have a handful of those. They make those the same way they do with paper beads. They take a triangle of very, very thin silver and roll it. That's how they make those. So most of these have a great big hole, and I like that. I do not like when the beads are, you kind of have to fight for your life to get that in there. And sometimes if you put too much glue, in this case, I'm almost wondering if I didn't put too much glue. Yes, Lisa, I believe that is Hill Tribe. I believe it is. Yeah, I think this is a nice stiff needle bow that I made, but you can see I did a nice layer. So if you had really thin holes, this would not work with this extra thick, and it was like regular and medium. Oh, I hate it when I bend the needle. But here you can already see how it has it kind of reminds me a little bit of a worm, you see? Or a caterpillar. Look at this big thick rose quartz, isn't that pretty? I hope that fits. I didn't try it earlier, but sometimes, you know, when they look, you can see the drilling here. Oh, come on, get in there. Oh, not close. This thread is thick, Vicky. So thick. You don't have to use this thick, but you know, on this particular necklace, I feel like I have used these thick, they have a pretty good size hole, so I'm happy about that. Oh, yeah, that's a good it's a good, look how pretty that looks like right there. And these are those opals. We had that a while ago in a kit, I think. This one might be tight fit, but nope, it's in there. Sometimes I need like pliers. I don't know if it's going to fit these. I have these teeny little agates. The only thing is if you get them stuck in there, it's hard to get them out. Nope, I think they'll fit. But we went to this place called Glen Helen. It's really beautiful. Vicky, it is a skill. I don't know if this is gonna fit. Let me see. It looks like it's got the whole. See, it gets kind of chewed up at the end. So I make this needle about. I think that's probably. I don't know. I think that's like 8 inches. I think once you get the hang of it, it's much easier. And I also cut it at an angle. I don't know if you just saw that, but I cut it at an angle so it'll nose its way into those smaller holes. And I probably won't visit Andrew. I would love to visit him, but he's still mad at me, so we're probably not going to do that. It would have been nice, but would have been great. And it was extra hard today because a lot of the people that were going up, it was one of those types where people are like, telling stories and sharing. And it kept coming up where people are like, if you miss someone, I'm not going to be able to get those little ones. They're not going to fit. Go make the effort and see them. And that was like a common refrain. And that was my own thing because, I was like, oh, I'll visit later when there's a little bit more time. And you just never know what life's going to throw at you. So, yeah, so I would love to be able to visit, but he's a little more emotional than I am, I guess. Anyway. So look at this. These are little rubies. I sold those in a lot sale. And I kept a little bit for myself. And I love them. Aren't those so pretty? In real life, they're extra sparkly. Lisa, I don't know. He blocked me so I can't see. He got really mad. You know, sometimes emotions can be difficult to navigate when you're having expectations of the way you think things are going to work out and they don't work out. It can lead to a lot of problems. You know, that whole expectation versus reality. And I think that's one of the things, you know, you expect things, and then when it's not how you envision it, it can be hard. Yeah, brothers are kind of hard. You know, I know, Bonnie, I would love to have an understanding, but you know, I don't want to sound like, I don't know. The whole thing is about the GBE, and I think that for me, like, I don't really like to get involved when there's misunderstandings. I'm a second and third and fourth chance type person. I don't know if those are going to fit. Okay, we'll just toss those out of there. So I don't like to hold grudges and have, you know, to me, I just acknowledge what the problem is and then release it. Anyway, that's what I've been learning to do. Doesn't always work, especially when I'm driving and I'm frustrated. But if I can manage to find like some quiet place, I can kind of think it through. And you know, this year for me there's been a lot of loss. I've lost 3 friends this year. So it was hard. And kind of, you know, Andrew doesn't want to, you know, he's more sensitive and was really upset that we didn't drop out of the GBE when he did. And I think, I mean, I don't really understand his reasoning, because it's not, I'm more like, hey, you do you, I do me, and we all just, you know, do our own thing. But, you know, I don't know. I don't really understand it. But that's not, you know, sometimes it's just that's the way it is. I don't have to understand if that's how he feels, you know. I can't force people. So anyway, I'm just going to keep adding these for the next few minutes. Yeah, let me see if there's anything else. Oh yeah, fort days are near. Yeah, we did that one last year. It was a good time. So anyway, these seem to all have pretty wide holes, except for those grayish ones. They didn't have a very good hole. It's that kind, you know, where they're drilled from one end. And then, look, I think there's going to be an issue with this one. I might have to get another one out, dig one out. I hate it when that happens. Because there's no amount of... Because if it bends in the middle... Let me see if I can find another one. Azalea, can you move this laptop? It's on top of my...
Yeah.
beads. So right before we were leaving, my beads got dumped. I had a full container that went on the floor, and the whole thing went everywhere. And so I redid it into color families instead, because I didn't have time to just organize it back into where it was. And I did it in like a yellow, gray, and look at, this is the blue, pink and purple. And I organized it that way. And I think, you know what, it actually works better. This was a tea thing I found at a thrift shop. And it works great for this purpose. It has a nice little, it has a folding lid. I think it says Harvey and Sons tea. I had tea packets. But it works great for storing these beads, although it is heavy and it doesn't close really well. And it's only good for... Like, maybe I'll try this one and see. Oh. Alright. Yeah, I'm almost. I think here, this is the one I had. I'm going to try and sharpen that up. Ugh. I'm going to put a little too much glue. Over enthusiastic with the glue. Ooh, come on, fit. That is one of my biggest pet peeves in my life, is this right here. Now, if I have my full set, I have a little drill that I could drill that. And I'll save those for the drill pile. I'm going to try and find another one that's in that same kind of vibe. I think this one will be just as good. And I think the hole will be bigger. And I won't have to fight with it. Oh, delight. Happiness. And so you can see there's a slight pattern emerging. It's very slight. It's a subtle one. But boy, when this is knotted, it'll be really fluid and really lovely. Kind of sinuous. Oh, what happened here? So sometimes this looks like the strands got twisted. And let me see if I can fix that. So if that happens, you just go slowly and gently follow it. If you kind of pull, which I've done in the past, you'll make a huge mess and have to cut the thread, and you don't want to do that. So always go slowly with it and just follow it back if there's a small knot. Nothing was happening and nothing was getting past this, so I found the spot where the thread got twisted. I'm gonna make some space. There, I think that actually looks better than the other bead. Even though I picked that, the shape works better. I just have a few more to go. This is the part I find kind of meditative. I think the whole part of of knotting is meditative. And I will say I did not like it for years. Years and years I avoided it. And I had a really hard time with knotting. Even with a tool and with jigs. I have all the tools you can get. But those I've found they work well. But not with double strands. So I wanted it to be stronger because I don't like my stuff to come apart. Look at this aquamarine. I've had these in the live sale before and it was really good. We probably won't do live sale tonight. I was talking to Azalea. She's pretty tired and has a sore throat and is not in the mood. Look at this big piece here. Isn't that good? I had some of those too at the beginning of the year. We found those in Tucson and those sold like right away. But I think this is for a thinner strand, so I might not use that either. And I can dig in my pile for something that has a bigger hole. Maybe something, I don't know, it's kind of fun. I feel like this method is colorway and less like, because usually I'm so meticulous with my bead organization where I have all the labradorite in one container and all the garnet in another container. And, oh, wouldn't that be good if that fit? Let's see if this fits.
I did like putting together a rainbow necklace by a color scheme rather than stone.
Uh-huh. Yeah, sometimes it can be really different and relaxing to try a new way. With my face this close to this light, it's kind of making me like, I'm getting so hot. It's like a sunlight bulb. But the downside to the sunlight bulb is that it's like the sun and it's making me warm. It's like I call it the lizard lamp, but it's an out light. But it's also like a lizard light. If you have a lizard, you'll know what I'm talking about. Or turtles. I used to have turtles. I have one, we call them really creatively Little Man and Big Man.
That's cute.
Yeah, and they were sliders, and when I got them, they were like this. They fit in the palm of my hand, and they were about the size of a quarter. And then they kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And finally, I let them out in a pond in Grove City, not far from here. Well, shoot. I think that would be too abrupt of a shift. So maybe I will put...
You can put some of them small light blue ones in there.
Yeah, like when this starts to tangle, if you tangle it like this, if they go in like this and you don't catch it, it can kind of be a pain. So when I'm making these, I always lay everything out and I let it I make myself a good amount of space so that I can lay it here and it's not clattering on the table. I haven't tried these. I bought these in Tucson, oh man, like at the Pueblo. I don't even know how many years
I
ago.
like that smooth bead.
I know. It's
What
a
is
kind of
that?
an agate,
Oh,
but they're natural. Isn't that so cute? Oh God. And look, looks like it has a great big hole, and it does. Let's see if I can go from this side. Sometimes if you switch the sides, test both sides. And if you can't, if you can kind of feed it through there. Yes. I've been pretty lucky with this so far. I don't know, is that transition? So I like to look at the transition and see. I think that looks pretty good. And I love these. This is kind of called golden obsidian. Isn't that so pretty? I thought they looked like sapphires. They're not sapphires, but they have that same kind of, similar kind of flash. The black opal, wouldn't that's nice. I love it. It's like the galaxy. And this is called golden iolite, and it's a really pretty bead. I love it. It has gray and kind of orange tones in there. So lovely. And some of them even have that sparkle of like how sunstone has that shimmer. This one has, of course, this one has like a teeny hole in it. I'll find another one. Here we go. This is one of my new favorite beads. Is this 20? I think it's like those kind that they have. I think they call it Super 13 or something. There's 13 different types of stones that have grown in. It's pretty cool. It has like amethyst, citrine. It's tested. It's supposed to be super lucky. And I like that idea. I don't know what the name of it is, like the geological name. They called it super. And then these teeny labradorites, look how pretty those are. Really, I need to show Sam how to close up his necklace because we made one and I have to add the clasp. And we were trying to decide if we were going to put seed beads or just a macrame closure. There's a lot of decisions because you could go in like with macrame knots and finish it off. Let me see. It's a little abrupt. I don't like it when the shift is too close. See how this one is like a yellowish gray, and then we have whatever that color is. Kind of a, I don't even know. That's a kind of a serpentine. But maybe I can shift it with another color. So fun. I think of this as kind of a meditation. And so if you practice your knotting and, you know, laying out your beads, and a nice bead board is really, it makes that a real delight. It's a pretty meditative process. All right, let me see if I found something. I need a green. That's half of it, is going through my beads and looking for ones that will look good. We'll see. There's a nice hole size. All right. Oh, that might have a miniature hole. I also have a little drill press. It's like the smallest drill press, and I ordered it on this, I think it was from Harbor Freight. Oh no, it was Macrame. They have all these miniatures, right? It's a miniature website that they sell things for miniature trade. Like people that make train sets and what have you, all that tiny stuff. And so I bought this super small drill press, like the base of it is like this wide, and I use it to drill stones and sea glass and things. Let me see if I have in here when I used to do the old. Oh, here's one. Sheila picked that piece up for me in somewhere in Scotland, I think. And then we had an afternoon where we drilled all the pieces of sea glass. It was really fun. And I used that little drill press because it had, you know, you can kind of see it, and you have a cup of water, and you can just easily go back just very gently. You don't want to go too fast because you can crack your beads. But anyway, I was thinking about doing a little tutorial on how to drill, but it is kind of loud. So like I did one time, we did one where we had the lap grinder going, and that was kind of, it was cool, but it was really loud, and so that didn't work great. But I would, maybe I can figure out a way to mute it or something during the parts where I have the grinder going. Let me see. I want something small. Guess I'll just go to this one. Oh no, here it is. Oh, the leaves were so pretty over in Yellow Springs today. We wanted to stop, but we were visiting with friends that I hadn't seen in probably, I don't even know. I can't even venture to guess. Probably since school. It was nice. And it made me think, wow, time, you know what, time, I blinked and 20 years passed. And it was funny because everybody there was like, you know, Azalea is the same age as you when you met your friend, or when I met Jessica. So it was pretty, like, kind of weird to think of it that way. Like, we're the same age. And I felt myself being so mature back then. I really wasn't. I was still a kid, but I thought I knew everything. God, that's looking good. And so that took, what, about 30 minutes? Not too bad. Not too bad at all. I love it when, look at when these small beads fit, that wide. I love it. That has to be one of the most satisfying things in beadwork right there. All right, so now we get to the fun part. And then the not so fun part. So I'm going to show you a little bit of this, and then I'm going to go to the part where we knot it off. We're going to do your bracelet, Sam, since it's done.
Okay.
Not quite yet. I'm going to show them some knotting, and then when we get to the end, I'm going to show you. So I left, look at this long tail. So I left this long tail, probably like, I don't know, a foot or so, maybe? I don't know. And what I'm going to do is just make a simple knot. Just like this. And I leave the knot, number one, so I have plenty of room to attach things on this end and to put the clasp, and if I want to lengthen it, I have room. Now, if you make it too short, then there's nothing worse than trying to tie when you have like a couple of inches to use. It's no fun. So with that first knot, you can see it's pretty, it's not perfectly centered. So what you do is you take the legs of each side and do that now. See, look at that. Then you scoot your little bead down. I'm going to move this so there's no distraction. Okay, tighten it up. And then to make the next one, here's how I like to hold it. So give yourself some space. All this is laying on your table. And I hold it like by the neck right here. So that's, I think of that, like that bead's like a little head. And this is like its neck, right? And your other fingers are holding it like this. And so this finger comes in, you pull out a loop like this. Let me get this a little longer. Okay, I don't need these things on here right now, so I'm gonna take those off because they're slowing down my game. This is so I have more play. Now it's a little different than you've seen people knot. Usually you have to start from one end and you cut. This way you do not have to cut. And that's great because I hate it when I'm trying to cut. And I cut it too short, even though you'll do the measurements where it'll say, oh, a knot is 1 inch. Maybe I'm doing my knots different, but I am always short. So you take this, make a loop, and drop that little head through there, that bead. It kind of reminds me of a little head, and pull the whole thing. And then like this. And then open. So you get, if sometimes you'll get kind of a thick one, just tighten it up like this. And you see that? Tight. Nice and tight. So I thought I'd show this because I had several folks talk about how they had a lot of problems with it. So I thought maybe I'd do it slowly so you guys could see how. Right, hold it. Grab to make a loop. Simple, but pretty satisfying. And it does, I will say, it does take a little bit of practice to get the rhythm. It might take you a minute, but once you do it a few times or make a couple of necklaces, then you'll have it. And you'll get your tension, and it'll just be like any other thread craft where you have to work that out. It's like anything, crochet, knitting, you got to work that tension out. And once you have it, then you can cook. You'll be looking along. And sometimes, you know what, I'll take this with me, and I'll have this in a pouch, and I can knot anywhere. So nothing falls down or gets lost. All I need is this. And I put it in a little pouch, and I can go. And that one pouch has enough pockets for like 6 projects. So as I'm going, you'll see I'm giving it a good tug. That's so I don't have a surprise later with a little bit of play. Now you don't have to make it as tight as you can, if you don't want that either. That would be really hard anyhow. All right. It looks good. Yeah, I love that shift from starting. It's kind of a grayish blue. Now I probably won't show you knotting this entire necklace. Maybe I will. We'll see how fast I go. So I wanted to show you how I will attach Sam's clasp to that bracelet. But you see, each time I'm having to pull through the whole thing. So once it starts getting really long, it's a good idea to put something soft like a towel or one of those really nice velvety bead boards. Those will be kind of luxurious. This wood one is good for layout, but when you're working, it's good to have something so that your beads are not just, you know, hitting a hard surface, especially if they're fragile. These are mostly not that fragile, but if you have some like pearls or something, you want to take extra care you don't scuff them up. All right. We made so many of like on the drive down, I was organizing the beads in the car and laying out designs in my head. I was like, I can't wait to get to this. I was pretty excited about this bead collection, the way I have them like they're not sorted, they're just in, it's like a perfect travel bead soup. Now, whenever I'd go and do shows and I'd bring beads, I used to do like one container, and they would mostly always have big holes, because I don't like fooling with like having to bring a bunch of different things. So I'd pick one craft, like wire wrapping or whatever, and all the beads would have to work within that capacity, you know. So I wasn't bringing, you know, a bunch of seed beads. Otherwise, you could just end up bringing everything you have. You kind of have to limit it. And I think working with a limited palette can be good creative practice. Especially if you're like, oh, I don't know. Sometimes you can buy a kit and maybe it's not in a colorway you usually work with, but, you know, it's a good way to test out new palettes. Because sometimes you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. I always thought, oh, I just love green. I love green. It's my all-time favorite. And then I kind of burnt myself out on green. Then I went through a phase, I'm still in my pink and green phase. Like, will I ever be tired of it? I don't know. I don't think so. I love it. It's like watermelon tourmaline colors. I love. I don't know why. I just do. It's like the earth or something. Like flowers. And fruit. It's exactly the color of like fruits. Yeah, with this I can be kind of a little bit more aggressive. You know, you can kind of stretch it. You see how that makes that really nice wave? It has a good feel to it. The best part is is when you're holding it, that kind of texture and that difference in size is weirdly fun to hold. So if you're making a prayer necklace or like, you know, these are traditionally, like these kind of separated knotted beads are traditionally used for malas and, you know, what do they call it? Prayer necklaces, or there's different names. But that's nice right there. Or like a rosary. Yeah, once I start getting towards, it starts getting kind of close to the next bead. See, I'm running out of space. I need to get these and push them back. That one looks a little thick. Like, why is that not so extra thick? Did I double it? I don't know. Let me look at it. Why is that one so big? Boy, do I think I doubled that knot. I guess I'm going to have to learn to live with it. But usually I would pick it if I, you know, I think it looks fine here. It's not noticeable. Yeah, that looks good. I think those were from, I'm not sure where those are from. There are these agates that tumble across a desert, and I think they're called gobi stones. And I bought some a long time ago, and now I think they're part of like a type of, they call it a botryoidal agate, because they're like little balls, or they look like grape clusters. So cute. I found the strand the other day, and I kind of want to cut it up. I think I will cut it up.
Going for almost 45 minutes.
Oh,
Nice.
Azalea's like, she's keeping watch. I was going to show how to put a clasp on it. Let me see yours, Sam. We'll do yours because Azalea says 45 minutes. All right, this one I tied on a clasp right here. So we'll tie on another clasp, and I burnt the edge off with my thread burner. All right. Can you pass me that necklace, Sam? Or I guess I can reach it. Let me see.
Okay. You want both of them?
Oh, he been getting to work.
Where's that other clasp? You want this one?
Sure.
There you go. All right. So this side has the stiff needle side. So I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave it in case I want to add, if I'm going to add seed beads to it. But I'm going to add this. You see, even with that one, when you don't have them together, they kind of want to get away from it. Get in there, you. All right, so when you're adding it, you don't want to make a big, like a sliding knot. You want this to be a secure knot. So I'm going to do one pass on this. Let me get close so you can see. Okay. The two want to get away from me. So see how that works? See this? And you just pull. Just like that, see? And so this, you can kind of pull it down. And you can make it as close. See, I can move it. See? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Or like this, you can move it down. Of course, now that I say you can move it down, it doesn't want to move.
You can always use that needle.
Mm-hmm.
That pointy little tool in Sam's tray.
Yeah, I have a little tool that an artist that I know makes these in town. He calls them X files. And these are from old files. And he doctors them up and hits them with a hammer. What do you call that? Forging? He does some forging and makes this pick. And so sometimes if I make a mistake, I can use it. But this is so sharp. So it can kind of chew up your thread. Alright, so I'm going to do another knot. See, I'm holding that like this. And I pick up that thread from the end and put it through. And it's just a simple knot. I don't know what that's called. A half? Anyone know what that's called? It's like this. I don't know what the technical name for it is. But see, you can see how there's that little gap. I can pull it so it's not a big old gap. I don't want it to be like a foot away. And tighten it in there. See? And you can kind of move it so that it's not like real gappy and far away. So that's, and you can keep, I think, you know, I have made them where I've made a little bit longer knot, but I like a short one. I don't like a really long one. All right, I'm pulling that tight. And then, let me see, maybe I can do one more. I don't like it to be, we stopped at this place called Young's Young's Dairy. Azalea wasn't having it. It was too many people. Wasn't that why you were not happy with it? It was just too much. She was really cold and tired.
I'm cold, so it's okay.
All right, so see, I have that. So I just kept doing little knots on top and tightening them up, and that's kind of like macrame. All right, so the way to keep that from coming loose is to dab a little piece of glue in there, just a drop. And then while you're doing that, you can kind of roll it into position. Because sometimes it'll have like geared off to one side. If that's the case, it doesn't look as good. You can also do bead cut or thread covers. There's different ones you can get and it'll fit right over that. That'll make it look a lot tidier. But I didn't have any of those. So if you have them, you can put them on there. They're very easy to use. All right. What am I looking for? Thread burner. All right, here's this. So I added that clasp. And now here's the fun part. So I usually use a lighter, or I used to use a lighter, but you know what? I've had many times when I got my arm jostled and I accidentally burnt the clasp off. And boy, that is annoying because you can see where, I mean, there's no way to do, you just have to start over. There's nothing about it. There's no fixing it. Just only redo. And look at that, I didn't burn anything off. You can see how that thing is sticking up. I hate that story, so I'm gonna go in and melt it. Let me see if I can get this, show you on side view. And I'm just ever so slightly melting that and then using, you can use something, but I use my nail. There's probably some other thing you can use besides doing it that way. I think Kate, she had another thing that she did. I think she was like real clever with it. Real smart. All right, so this is how it is so far for this bracelet. How do you feel about that, Sam? That look good to you?
It.
All right, so now here's the tricky part. You have this much left, right? So you need to make a loop that will fit this bird. And the loop doesn't have to be that long. It could be like this. It doesn't have to be long at all because it has to go like this. Through one wing, past the other side, and there, like that. Looks like it's going to be big. Did I make that too long? That's okay, Sam, because you can just put it around your foot.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. So the way to fix that is what we're going to do now is we're going to check it. Bring your wrist over into the picture. Let's see how this is going to work out.
Skinny wrist.
Okay, so it looks like it would be really big.
Yeah.
So maybe what we'll do is we can remove, what do you think, 2?
Sure.
2 beads, because otherwise it's going to be like clanking down. And you can. So, in order to do that, that's when this is going to come into the picture. And you're going to have to pick the knots out if you add too many. So what I usually do is I'm not trying to force this tip of this tool in there really aggressively. I'm just gently going on from one side, then pulling back from one side. And then I'm coming in from this side of the knot, and I'm not expecting a lot. You know, I'm going very slowly because you don't want to chew up these fibers and make them where they're super duper ugly. And also it frays it, so you don't want that. You don't want to weaken any point of your work. So I'm just lifting on one side, then I'd go to the next. You see that? I'll start one side, and then when that loosens up, and this is a knot that was tied hard. Sam was not fooling with things. He tied that like he was meaning business, and that's good. That's how you do it. You don't want these weak, loosey-goosey knots, because then you get gaps as it stretches, because these will stretch a bit, because that's just the way that's just, you know. I mean, if this were silk, you can use any thread. You don't have to use nylon. You can use any thread, of course. You can use hemp. That's true. That's like a lot of people use hemp. Silk is the traditional. It's the most beautiful. And it feels luxurious to work with, but I've had trouble with it stretching over the years, and I've repaired many necklaces that way. So I switched to this, and I haven't had to repair one. So that makes me happy. All right, I think I'm close enough where I can get in there and dig that knot out. Anyway, that's how you open up a knot, and you can see it's kind of a time-consuming thing to do, to get in there and do it, because you have to kind of be patient. And that's already been like 2 minutes working on this knot, and I'm very close. There we go. That's it. I've opened it. Now sometimes if you're too aggressive with it and you can't see what you're doing and you stab it in a bunch of different places, you weaken it up and it frays, and then you have a weak point, and that's where it's going to break, guaranteed, if it breaks. All right, so there's one knot out of the way. And we can take that bead off. And we have this one to go. And then we'll make the loop. Do you want seed beads, Sam, do you think? Or we could do knots?
We can do seed beads. I don't really know what those are, though.
They're really small beads. Really small. I have some in, I don't know if it'll fit, but I have some Hill Tribe that I brought with me. And that's in here. Let me see. Oof. I'll dig around in there in a second. I love these serpentine beads. They're so pretty. That appley color, I love it. All right, everybody got quiet after we started talking about Andrew. You guys, don't worry. I don't like the drama. No drama for me. But sometimes it kind of follows you, you know? Sometimes you have it. You don't even want it. So we won't mention it. I think it makes people feel weird. At least it does with me sometimes, I guess. Maybe it's avoidance, I wonder. What are you guys whispering?
Secrets.
They're over there whispering.
He showed me some.
It's cute. Are you guys showing each other pictures of Marty? Because that's what I would be doing right now.
If only I had pictures of mine.
Well, you do. I'm sure you do.
You have to send me some.
I'll send you some right now. I mean, not right now, but you know. You guys getting bored watching me pick this knot? Don't worry, I only have the two.
We don't have to show everybody the knot picking and the loop making.
I know, but that's probably, is it? Because sometimes people have trouble with it. And it shows that sometimes you
Maybe
have,
you can
there's
just
a...
show that next time how to make the loop so you don't have to pick out the... I mean, you already started. So
I
do
just
it
picked
if
that
you want
knot. There it is. It's done. I did too. And there you go. So now this should fit perfectly. Give me your wrist again once more. Okay, so see that will fit. Get in there, Sam. Yeah, there you go. You got it. So what you want to make sure is that he can actually get it on. So you don't want to make it so tight where it's like this and there's no, you can't move. You have to have enough to stretch over that wing. So I think this will fit you, right? You think, does that
so.
feel good or does it feel like it'd be loose? Because I'm going to put a loop and it'll be like this. One more, or do you like that feeling?
Maybe let's do one more,
You,
just in case.
Yeah, you.
I got skinny wrists.
Yeah, I sometimes I don't like a necklace to be too, or a bracelet to be too loose. I've had them come off and get hung on things. I had charm bracelets, you know, that was a popular thing to have them as very loose neck or very loose. And there was a time when I made like PMC charm neck or charm bracelets. Do you guys remember them when that was really popular, where you would stamp out your thing and then everybody had like little jangly neck bracelets when that was a thing? Maybe that was just me. I mixed it with pearls. That was popular back in the day. All right, I'm getting faster with my knot picking, so we're not going to be sitting here for another few minutes. I was kind of in the mood to see, like, when we were driving, to see like a farm with apples, because I was in the mood for apples. And we went to Myra the other night, and I was like, how come there's only, and this is so spoiled first world problem, I was like, how come there are only 6 varieties of apples? That I found myself actually uttering that phrase. And then I was like, what in the first world problem am I doing? Because I really like Golden Delicious apples, and the last few places that I went to, they didn't have any Golden Delicious. Because I don't know, I guess maybe I just don't like how the one kind, the red of apples, they get those thick peels stuck in between my teeth. And I don't need any teeth trauma. So anyway, I was like, oh, we could go. And I follow this guy on Instagram. I think it's called, what's it called? Palm something? Palm Queen? I don't remember what it's called. I think it's Palm Queen. And it's every different kind of apple. And there's so many posts. And I'm just bewitched with all the varieties. He had some that were like pink on the inside, which I've long wanted to try. We actually found, when we went to Myers last night, we found kiwi berries, which was pretty exciting. All right, 1. I took off 3. All right, so at first he was trying to tell me his bracelet size was 8 inches. It's like, Sam, it's not going to be 8 inches.
What's up?
Your bracelet was not 8 inches.
What? It was 7.5.
I know, but you gotta give it a little. You have, when you add the knots, that's what happens.
Oh, that's right. That adds a
The
little
knots is what does it when you spread it out. So you have to put a few less. And you try it on pretty frequently. Those metal beads. All right. Sorry. I had some.
I walked in here to ask her a question, and then she walked away.
I think she's looking for a snack. All right, so look at all that cheddar.
Cheddar. Probably have cheddar in the fridge.
We do. You know what I was in the mood for
eat it all.
was I think we found this cheddar that was truffle flavored at Harris Teeter, and it was really good. All right, so these are little tiny Charlottes, and every time I go to Tucson, I buy a few strands of these sterling beads, although they get kind of tangled up in here. And I use them in my necklaces, although some of the shapes are getting really, really hard to find. Like, I had some drop beads, and I haven't been able to find them at the usual source. It seems like a lot of the old ways of making things, like you used to be able to get, like, they call it, you know, the Karen Hill tribe, are a little harder to find nowadays. And I asked my friend Becky about it, and she was like, well, a lot of the young people that would be taking on these traditions are moving into the city. So, you know, the outside world is calling, and they don't want to just, you know, make beads, I guess. Which, to me, I'm like, but why not? Who doesn't love beads? What greater occupation is there besides bead making? Maybe that's pretty important. Veterinary. These are too small, so I don't know if you can see that, but that's not going to fit. All right, so if that's the case, I don't really have any seed beads that'll fit. The other ones are too big, so we are going to have to go to plan B. And plan B is where you do knot work instead of beads. Let me take off. All right, so that calls for macrame stitches. Now, if you have one, I don't know if I have that. I have this thing I got from Kate. Let me see if it's over here. It's a clamp. Okay, I have this one. This is not the one I got from Kate, but it might work. Let me see if I can clamp that to it. You don't want it to wiggle around. I don't know. Let me see. Maybe I can do this on this side. Clamp that over here. Because you don't want it to wiggle. All right, let me see. All right, so I've separated these two. And what I'm going to do is a macrame stitch. I can't remember the official name of it, but it's kind of like where you're tying one side. So you go like this. I need to learn the official names of things. I'm trying to adjust this. So if you have it, all right, there we go. I'm doing this at an angle. I'm going to get in front of it. So this is a macrame stitch. Oh, it came undone. Let me see if I can get that attached again. So this works better if you have a bead board and you can do this where you can attach and not have it coming apart. So you go on one side and one through. See how I'm doing this? Watch this. All right. So the lighter strand is coming through the bottom. Pull that way, and then go the other side. Now you could do a different knot. There's all different kinds of knots. There's like a million different kinds of knots. And whatever you pick, keep with it in the same kind of stitch. Don't switch your stitches. So I'm going back and forth, making these little knots here. See, it's twisting though, so you have to, that's why you want to have it where it doesn't twist. You see? Go this side. And I think this makes kind of like a spiraling sort of knot. But you could do different ones. There's all different ones you could do. Ultimately, you're just making a thick sort of band to use as your kind of rope to go around your bird or whatever clasp or button or whatever you're going to use. And there's tons of directions better than this in print. Oh, I'm off screen. And through this way. All right, so I don't know if you guys can see that, but this makes a really pretty little rope. I think they call that a half hitch. Now, you could get really detailed, really pretty knots, and you just want to make sure that you don't twist it up too much and it curls and makes kind of a weird shape. That would be a real nightmare to pick. So try to make sure to practice this part with like thick cord before you get to this. And once you have enough, like say, I don't know, like an inch or so, you can fold it and have enough. Now I tried to do this the other day and I didn't have anywhere to clamp my neck, the bracelet. And boy, was that, it made the ugliest strand you've ever seen. It was so thick and chunky. So thick. So how are y'all doing out there? It's like, I don't see any talking. Are you guys okay?
Talking to your chat?
I'm talking to the folks. I was like, is anybody, you guys all right out there?
Oh. Let's see, I can't really see. Oh my god, I'm blinding myself.
But see, doesn't that look pretty? That's like a little mini rope. And so once you have enough, you can see that's what we're aiming for. I think I need a few more knots. And so if you lose your place and you're like, which one did I do? You want to look at the one that doesn't, that has like the last knot in that color. All right. So anyway, we were looking around for like a apple farm because I was like, I would love to try one of those black apples. You know, they're black and they have like either a red interior or white. And they'll describe them and I'm like, how they, the same way they describe what, like wine or something. They're like, oh, they're like tannin notes. And I'm like, is it sweet or what? What's it taste like? It tastes like a pineapple or what? So we tried some different fruits when we went to Meyer and we found these kiwi berries and it's so weird. They actually taste like a kiwi, but a berry. And the only thing is they have a little stem that's kind of horrible and bitter. It's kind of like that thing on a banana, you know, that end where it's the most, it's like, why is this so bitter? And I think that might be enough.
Yeah, I spoke to him.
Mama, you need some help.
My aunt, mother.
My other child. My
yeah,
other
well,
son.
I sometimes slip
My
up and call
third
him my
mom.
brother Sam instead of my cousin Sam, so.
Vice versa.
All right, so there, you can see that's a really pretty little,
What is it made out of?
that's made out of this. I macramed it.
It doesn't even look like a.
No, because I used two
nylon. It
different
looks
colors
like
of
metal chain.
Yeah, it kind of does. If you can get the right colors, you can get a really pretty effect. It does kind of look like metal chain because I used a little bit of tan and a gray. All right, so then the next step is to make the loop. You can see that's very easily done. I just tie it off, really. Take that thing off, and I'll test it first. I always test it. So all it has to be the width to get through is the width of the body. Okay. The kids there are saying they wanted to go to a haunted house, and I don't know where the one that they want to go to. Is that one that was like, how far away was it, Sam? Was it like 20 minutes away? Did you?
We were gonna go to Dent Schoolhouse, but it closes early on Sunday, so we were gonna go to a different one tonight.
Which one did you find?
USS Nightmare. It's in
Ooh.
downtown Cincinnati, or it's technically in Newport, Kentucky, but it's just across the river from downtown.
Oh, did Greg say he was going to take you to that?
Yeah, he said very soon. He said he'd like to come as well.
Okay, let me see if I can get that. So you have to get this where, pull it tight. And it doesn't need to be, because you know you're going to glue. So that looks pretty good. I'm going to do one more to secure to this thing, because I also glue it. And then, so I usually do 2 or 3 little knots to hold it. And I glue it. So it's not going anywhere. And if you wanted to be extra secure, you could always put a cap. They have some that you can glue. They have all different kinds. Okay, and I'm adding a little bit of glue to that end. And this glue is clear, although it kind of has a little bit of a film on, like your fingers, like this part. So I'll let that sit for a minute. I'm gonna keep it tight. Oh, today I had I've been so discombobulated, it was weird. Felt like seeing friends I hadn't seen in almost 30 years. It was weird. So weird. Because like
over your shoulder.
The last time I saw them, they were like 20, and then the next time I see them, we're approaching 50. So it's kind of just bizarre land. And then hearing so many stories that I'd never heard, it was pretty awesome and sad. Mostly sad, but you know. All right, I'm gonna get in here. Oh, I'm not even in the picture. Here we go. Boom! Yay!
Looks like
and
magic.
So I'm gonna get that little nub. Get that, and I think Kate used the end of it. I think that's what she did, but I don't know if I'm coordinated enough. I end up using my fingers. I don't like that thing to stick out like that because it makes kind of a thorn, I guess. So this is really hot, and the good thing is that these are replaceable. This part, you can slide that out and get a new one. All right. So sometimes you can save your little bits. I don't always save them. I have this little, all right, now the truth. Put your hand in there again, one more time.
All right. There we go.
What do you think? Is it
I
still
love
too
it.
loose?
No, I think it's good length. Whatever
Nice.
it's called, width. I don't know what that is. It looks great. Thank you.
So that's how you do that, folks. Hopefully that was helpful, and you got some tips. The next one I could do is this one. Maybe I'll show that on. I'll show how to put a beaded loop because that's often fun too. This one is great for a beaded loop. Let me see what I do with that other stand. Add another stand. Okay, I'm gonna start wrapping this up. All right, we have one more, and then here's what I had before. What do you guys think? Do you guys like this pattern? Pretty nice. I'm gonna work on this some more tonight and see what this looks like. I'll take a picture, put it in there. This is how it is so far. And hopefully it has a nice, I hope I made this the right length that I like to have to hit at. I think it'll be really pretty. All right, I'm gonna flip this camera. Yeah, you wanna get in on this? Okay, I'm gonna flip it.
Oh, Sandy's here too to say goodbye. You go to settings. Hello.
Hey friends, so hopefully that was useful and you guys enjoyed that little bit of a
If you
knotting.
turn it this way, then it'll be more.
Oh, thank you, Azalea, thank you. I just didn't like my head being so massive in the... All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us while we did that knotting. I think we're going to postpone the live sale to Wednesday. I actually have some things here, but
we kind of ran out of time.
this gal's tired. Look she's been snorching it up and feeling sick. So we thought, you know what, we're going to give ourselves a little bit of a rest while we're hanging out in Cincinnati. And hopefully we will have something out. Well, we do have for Wednesday. So if you want to tune in then, I'm not sure what we'll do on our tutorial, but we usually have something, you know, fun planned. So anyway, thank you guys for joining us. Hopefully it wasn't too weird, too sad, you know, because I was so discombobulated calling myself Azalea at the beginning.
Yeah.
And,
It's
you know,
okay.
time traveling.
You're just sleepy. You just need a nap.
I need a nap. And, you know, I think when, you know what, it was so awkward. I went up and I didn't know they were going to do that thing where you talk.
Oh,
And
it's
I
okay. We don't have
started
to talk about
talking.
that again. It's all right. We can let that.
It's always
We
like,
can
we're
let
gonna
that disappear into
let
the
that go
memories.
into the memories.
All right. Well, it was nice to talk with everybody. Oh, if only I was only in there a little bit. Sam was doing my job tonight. But it was nice to talk to everybody.
All right, friends. Well, we'll see you this Wednesday at our usual time at 7, and we'll have our things. We have a silver batch ready, and don't forget that the Great Bead Extravaganza Fall Fest is coming up. What is it? The 21st? I think our day is the 22nd, a Sunday. So that is approaching like. I mean, it feels like it's like next week, but we have, I think, 2 weeks before that rolls.
I'm not sure yet. That we'll figure it out. We'll post an update. But
and we have a bunch of fun things. We have a 1 hour slot, and it's going to be pretty good. All right, so keep that in your calendar for that event, and we will see you soon.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.